After a minute or two of this game, I felt a cramping in my arm. I relaxed and lay back, my head resting on the cobbles, my arm still inside the pig. I closed my eyes, and immediately I was back in the ballroom, in the warmth and brilliant light. I was holding out my immense glass while Francois poured from the magnum. Then I was dancing close to the orchestra, this time in the leader beating time with one hand turned round and smiled into my face, smiled and bowed as though he had been looking at me all his life. I smiled back, but the band leader's face dissolved, and there was only Mr. Atkinson looking down at me expressionlessly, his his unshaven jaw and shaggy eyebrows thrown into sinister relief by the light striking up from the bicycle lamp. I shook. I shook myself and raised my cheek from the floor. This wouldn't do. Falling asleep on the job. Either I was very tired or there was still some champagne in me. I reached again and grasped the foot firmly between two fingers. And this time, despite his excuse me. And this time, despite his struggles, the piglet was hauled out into the world. Once arrived, he seemed to accept the situation and tottered around philosophically to his mother and utter to his mother's utter. She's not helping at all, I said. Been on so long and been on so long that she's exhausted. I'm going to give her an injection. Another numbing expedition through the mud in the ear. A shot of pit pituitrin pit pituitrin into the glit's thigh, and within minutes the action began with powerful contractions on the uterus. There was no obstruction. Excuse me. There was no obstruction now, and soon a wriggling pink piglet was deposed in the straw. Then, quite quickly, another and another, coming off the assembly line now. All right, I said. Mr. Atkinson grunted. 8 piglets had been born, and the light from the lamp had almost given out when a dark mass of afterbirth welled from the glit's vulva. I rubbed my cold arms. Well, I should say that's the lot now. I felt suddenly chilled. I couldn't say how long I had been standing there looking at the wonder that never grew stale, the little pigs struggling onto their legs and making their way unguided to the long double row of teats. The mother, with her first family, easing herself over to expose as much as possible of her udder to the hungry mouths. Better get dressed quickly. I had another try at the marble like soap, but it defeated me as easily as the first time. I wondered how long it had been in the family. Down my right side, my cheek and ribs were caked with dirt and mucus. I did my best to scrape some off with my fingernails. Then I swilled myself down with the cold water from the bucket. And I'm going to stop there.